All right, mates. JL Scott Fishing and Eats. Hope is doing well. Got a few minutes. Got the rain starting to drop down here. A little afternoon thunderstorm before we do a little late afternoon fishing on the Potomac River today. But I got a bait drop. All right, I got unboxing bait drops. I've got my baits back from Willamette Weapon Lures in Washington, as in the other Washington, not mine. The one on the West Coast, from Brian Chapman at Willamette Weapon Lures. So let's take a look here. We got, you guys got a preview. I posted some pics that Brian had sent me, but I finally got the package here. Just got dropped off while I'm waiting to head out. Was packing up to head out to the ramp on the river. Taking a boat out. I don't know if I mentioned that. Not kayaking. We're going to do some running and gunning. We're going to run some creeks. So, it should be fun. Let's take a look at these. All right, let's first start with what I got in here. These are the Fred O's, okay? Fred Young, Big O's, that Brian repainted for me. You can find the originals we did in the giveaway last week or so ago. Those are all the giveaway Fred Young Big Otis, otherwise known as the Big O's, are out in the mail. Let me know how your catches go. That's what I would like to see. I love it when people send me catches, photos of their catches, so I can post on TikTok, and stuff like that of the giveaway baits, or P-line, the giveaway P-line, or Fitzgerald rod giveaway, any of that kind of stuff that you get in a giveaway from anybody, not just me. But if you ever get a giveaway from somebody on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or something like that, you know, give them a solid, throw it back out there, you know, where you got it from in the giveaway and all that. But, so I got two Big O crankbaits, okay? Big Otis from Fred Young. These are from the 2004 line of cotton cordal, okay? Because they basically bought the rights to the Fred Young designs, I guess, I want to say the decade before that. But here we go. So I got one for the river. Look at that baby right there. Okay, if you can see that really well. See if I can get these out of these plastic. Sometimes I hate these plastic containers. But they got to do what they got to do. So there you go. Oh, that's a lot better. Look at that. Look at that beautiful crawl pattern. Now, mates, I will be releasing an updated crawfish video. Okay, we're almost getting to that point where we're going to see some crawl mud break. Okay, it's called the crawl break, as they break through the mud. Okay, the water is down, all right, in some of these rivers like the Upper Potomac now. The Upper Potomac is about 3, in the Piedmont section is anywhere from like 3 feet to like 3.5 feet. Okay, and so a lot of areas shallow, it's a foot or less. And that's where the crawls are going to be. Okay, that's where they're going to be coming out of the mud, and you're going to see those holes, okay, where they're going to break through where they've been hanging out all winter and early spring, okay? It's a beautiful bait. Love the coloration. He does really, really great crawl. And one thing that's not really commonly understood is most people get it wrong, mates. I'm just going to be honest with you, okay? They'll tell you that all crawl are red, that start to spring off red. It's a myth, bro, okay? It's a myth. It's not true. That they're sitting in clay, and the clay is what makes them red, and all crawl, that's why your red crankbaits work really great in the spring. Well, that's just not the case, mates, okay? There are crawfish that are predominantly red, of course, of their species class, but not all crawfish are red, and some never turn red, to believe it or not, okay? Before, they're, depending on where they are, what the river situation is, what their habitat is, all of that stuff. But I will tell you, most start out green pumpkin. Why is green pumpkin such a great spring and summer color? Because most crawl in the Northeast, most crawl in the Mid-Atlantic are not bright red. They're not. Some sandy turn red, There are some species that are red, but predominantly they're not red. They're green pumpkin, and then they start to molt, and then they get a little bit, and then you may also come across, again, crawfish are invasive. You may get species that have entered in that are of that Louisiana red, or those ones that are a product of clay in the Midwest and out west and places like that. Okay, so find out in your river system whether or not there's any clay composition. Okay, next time you're out there, just take a look. Is there any clay in your river composition that would match that assertion that the crayfish turn red because of the fact that during the wintertime they're in clay, burrowed into clay. They don't hibernate, okay? That's another myth. Okay? So just check your river. Check your pond, wherever you come across crayfish. And see if there's actually any clay, and then look and see. I have videos up from last year of red in Susquehanna, red in Allegheny, red in Upper Potomac, in areas where there's no clay. So something else is happening, what they're eating, all of that, the molting process and all that. So just keep that in mind. Be on the lookout for that video. I'm going to have all baits. We're going to talk about, red, why red is really effective in the spring. Okay. And the style of baits. All right, here's another one. Okay, another Big O. This one is for my Western Maryland and hate these plastic containers, and Virginia reservoirs. Okay, it's gonna get a little bit diver. Okay, look at that. It's not a crawl pattern at all, mates. Right? Love this pattern. I also have this pattern in a jerk bait, which is crazy sick, effective. Okay. All right. Chartreuse bottoms, highly effective crankbaits in your reservoirs and impoundments, okay? For me, it's less effective on the river, except in early spring, just because I don't think it really mirrors a lot of what's happening in your small reservoirs or lakes or things like that, as opposed to some other baits. So those are the two Big O's, okay? Now we're going to get into some crawls, okay? Check these crawls out, okay? And these are all different. These are 3 different pattern crawl, repainted, okay, by Brian. There's one there. Look at the different colors. Little red, orange on the bottom. Combines those colors. And then we got one that's perfect for Susquehanna, Upper Bay, okay? So let's take a look at that Susquehanna, Allegheny, and Upper Bay. Remember, Upper Bay, Chesapeake Bay, also has blue crab, right? So you want to kind of like tap into that, all right, as well as other forage. So this is a pretty cool little bait, perfect for your river, okay? All right, look at the color on that. This is the green that they come out with early in the spring. That dark hues of greens and browns. This is pretty damn hot for any river system in the Mid-Atlantic and lower Northeast for sure. And even in Ohio for crawl. All right, love that coloration. A little bit different than you're going to see. You're not going to see that color pattern on a store shelf, mates. You're not. Okay, you're not going to find that at a big box store. All right, they're all going to be reds and oranges. Okay. If you're lucky, you might be able to get a brown one. All right, here's the next one. Okay, this one I like for end of May, June. Okay, in my river. Incredible pattern. See this start to change a little bit on some color. It's got a little bit more orange in there because the colors start to change as you get into early summer to midsummer. Okay, and you want to play that with your colorations when you're working with your crawl. It's a beautiful little bait, okay? You can also play around with these hooks on these. I've thrown these before, and I have changed out hooks, played around with it, did some different things. It's kind of like a unique little bait. Very small, very compact. when you're pulling that and you're pulling it on the bottom of the river composition a little bit, letting it fall, let it sit for a couple seconds, and then twitch it, it kicks up all that like cloud mud, that cloudy brown, murky in the water, and that's the fish key in on, because they know there's a crayfish down there moving. So pretty highly effective. And the last one we got to show you today in today's drop is, look at this bad boy. Look at the coloration on this. It's got the red pinchers. Beautiful color. Really great. Look at that. Really love the work, the job that Brian's done on this. Okay? These colorations. And again, these are really effective, okay, baits. They are. Even off the store shelf, okay? These are not really expensive baits by any means. It actually costs more to have them repainted than what they cost. Okay? They're not expensive baits. Okay? But the colors that they offer just aren't realistic. Okay? And that's what you find so much on a bait aisle. At a big box store, when you've got like shads and crawl, they're all like, all the shads look the same, or like the crawl are all bright reds with black like scales, or like orange fire with the scales and all that, and they're not really realistic. And in truth, those baits do catch fish, and they're catching baits because of their reaction strikes and the fact that the bass are predisposed to eat anything that's moving because they're feeding up in the pre-spawn. That's really why they're effective. But their colors don't really align with the forage of what the life cycle and coloration cycle are of crawl, like these will now. Okay, and like I said, early spring, late April, May, then into June, July, and then in the fall, you will go to a more of a redder tone, deeper red hue, all that in your square bill crankbait, or this kind of bait. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. So that was it. Appreciate it. The drop delivery from Brian. If you are interested in any of these baits, you certainly can reach out to me. We will beginning to start bait drops, which will give you an opportunity to order a lot of the baits now that we're featuring on the YouTube channel, as well as on Facebook and on TikTok. And we're going to streamline so it's a lot more effective for people, because I always get a ton of messages about where can I get this bait, who made that bait, who painted that bait, where can I get great custom square bills, where can I get swim baits, hey, can you paint a custom swim bait for me? Yes. Can you get some crankbaits painted? Yes. All these, get some soft plastics poured? Yes. Okay, all these things are readily available for you. But a lot of times it's people don't know where to go, where to find, where to start, right? And so that's what we want to start with the bait drops. We want to start like really dialing down in, giving people the opportunity to see it and order it. See it, pre-order it. See it, okay, and maybe come up with another coloration that they want to have a Baitmaker do, and get it done and get it ordered and get it out. Streamline that whole process in a live stream, okay? I'll give people an opportunity to see the baits, really see the baits up close. Talk to bait makers, right? Talk about why we throw these baits when we're throwing them. Okay, it's all also about education. It's about reading. What I say on Facebook a lot and on TikTok is read, cast, catch, right? Read your river or your lake or your reservoir. Learn how to read the fishery. Then cast where you're casting to, right? Learn how to cast to the right spot, okay? And then catch, right? That's what it all boils down to, okay? And there's so many ways that you can increase your catch rates, okay? And one of the ways you can do it is not by throwing the same thing that everybody else is throwing. That's one of the best things you can change up in a day. Everybody's out there throwing a chatterbait, that doesn't mean they're right. If everybody's out there throwing a jerkbait or throwing a spinnerbait, it doesn't mean they're right. And that's the only means in which you're going to catch fish that day. So sometimes fishing different is the most important and effective thing that you can do. And oftentimes not fishing different is the biggest mistake anglers make on the water. All right, mates.